Brian, do we have anybody for public input? Okay.
I didn't think this day would ever come. Polly, good job on the water. We didn't flood. That's all I want to say.
Oh, great.
I'll let you.
Matter of fact, Paulie came over to me and said we have David. And the Wheatfield won 2-0, by the way. Yeah. Great. Oh, no kidding. Great. You want to David, would you like to make a report? Okay, let's focus here now. Come on down, Julie.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I wanted to ask a question or comment, basically, regarding the street light in the proposed motion today. I noticed that I think it's great that we're proactively going to put in lights before we put in the houses, so I agree with that. Right now, it's at the end of, it's at a lot, it's at a dead-end street. But what I'm wondering about is, first of all, there's no mention of cost in here, but where the other motions regarding the truck and regarding the trucks and regarding the money for tri-community ambulance all have a cost associated with them, so we don't have a cost in here. The other thing is that I wanted to bring to the attention, and I've brought this up before, not while you were supervisor, Mr. McSwan, but we need a street light at the corner of Captain's Way and Shawnee and Forest Parkway. There are not street lights there, and it's very dark, and we get a lot of foot traffic there between Captain's Way and Maddie's. There's an extreme, not extreme, there's more traffic there, foot traffic, than you would expect. I drive that road all the time. And I just wanted to find out what the cost is for the street light, basically, that we're going to put up, and also while you're doing that street light, get the other two street lights put up at this time. They're really out of compliance with our zoning. And also, and the last time I asked where the special lighting districts were, it wasn't mentioned, but there's a light right at Wheatfield Gardens. That's a private road, so we're paying for that. And I get it, it's probably a safety issue, but we have one there, but we don't have one at Captain's Way in Shawnee, and we don't have one at Forest Parkway in Shawnee. And again, there's a lot of back and forth. Now, we're moving into a season where it's light longer, but it's a pretty dangerous stretch of road, and you know that we've had history on Shawnee Road. So, number one, I'd like to put that on your list of streetlights, if there is such a list. And second of all, just find out what the cost is for the light that you're going to put in on Colleen Terrace. Yeah, there's a street light right there. A big one on a pole.
Excuse me, but it seemed to me, and again, this is, the street light issue is a little bit new to me, and we discussed it earlier today, but wasn't there a policy that on every intersecting a road that there was supposed to be a street light? Mm-hmm. And these are two intersections that don't have lights.
Correct.
So it's something that we'll have to go after and find out why not.
And when I was advocating for the street light to be moved at the corner of Kruger and the Boulevard, when they changed the boulevard and the street light never got moved, I had foiled for some documents, and I couldn't lay my hands on it today before I came, but I think each street light costs us $250 a year to run. I think that's what we pay National Grid. So, if we're paying for street lights that are on private property, then we need to look at that. But in areas that we need them, regardless of cost.
Those street lights.
Okay.
And as far as the cost, I don't know what the cost is. I believe that on an approved subdivision on corners, etc., there is no charge. But we discussed that earlier, and I don't think we're sure. Tim, maybe you can.
What I've had some discussions with National Grid about our lights around here, and what the town is doing as part of what I understand their process is, first of all, they need an actual motion from the town board to even consider a request.
Sure.
Then they ask for a sketch or a map of exactly where the town wants the light. And then they will come back and provide the town with an estimated annual cost for that light.
Okay, so the
And
one
then
on
the town has
Kruger
to do
is
another
covered.
motion to approve that they accept that, and then National Grid comes out, installs the light, and maintains it, and it's
And we
it's an
pay for
annual
that.
fee that's paid monthly from there on out.
Sure, and even like at the corner of Loveland and how Wild Wing comes out onto Loveland, there's two lights there. There's one of the really nice decorative ones on the corner, and then there's an overhead one. So there's two. So I think as a part of, I know you guys have a long laundry list, but it's something that as we're trying to create some cohesiveness throughout the town, I think the lighting really needs to be looked at. For one, the big issue is safety, and then two, obviously just aesthetic.
We're looking at some other things too, possibly the town. It's an issue that's coming up. I'm meeting with someone soon on the town, purchasing the lights and putting LED lights in them. So that's another issue that's coming up, but, let me check into this, and, if you'd like, I will call you and let you know what the status is.
That'd be
I think
great.
it's already brought up. It's gonna take a motion from the board. Do you know who in the town would make the placement as to whether it's the highway superintendent? Anybody know? Or who?
As far as the location?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always been done by the supervisor's office.
Okay, so I'm gonna go out and say put it here? Is that how it works?
I think we can maybe go look, or you can look this week, and we
Yeah.
meet next Monday, and then we can make a motion to approve it. Maybe just give them a little
Yeah.
sketch plan or
Imagine
of the
something
intersection, and
Something as close to the right of way as far away from
Yeah.
the road edge.
they can probably tell us what's
Good.
cheaper to get the power there and where they can drill
Sounds
a
good.
pole.
And
Polly,
there-
maybe you'll go with me though, would you? Seeing it's my first time. Okay.
All right, thanks. Seriously, I just am concerned about safety.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're all set, thanks? Okay, thank you. Approval of the minutes from February 5th, please.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay, that's right. Bill payment, voucher number 20180095 through 20180249, with a total amount, with including prepaid, which is $3,519.53, with a total of $255,739.42. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Payment of bills, approved. Department heads. Paulie Sigmund, come on down.
Good evening. I only got a couple things. One thing in regards to the lights. There are lights, I don't know about Captain's Way, but I know there are lights, or Captain's Way there are lights. Forest Parkway, I'm not sure, but they're the decorative lights. They're not an actual corner street light. So that was what was picked, I don't know if it was picked by the town board or the developer, but there are lights there. I don't know if you guys remember all the problems we had with them lights on Captain's Way, getting them working. Because it was supposed to be a private thing, and then it turned public, and we had no idea where the lights were running or anything else, but we did finally get them all working. But that's why there actually isn't a light there. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll check it out. And Paulie, if you would go with me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be later in the week, 'cause I know Tuesday and Wednesday are crazy, but maybe Thursday or Friday.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
The other thing was, we did luck out with all the rain and the snow melt off. We had a little bit in the middle of Wilrose, about that much, and it came up Tuesday afternoon, and it was down Thursday afternoon. But with that amount of water, I was very surprised. I was actually glad. As far as streetlights also, I still have a midnight shift on. They're on for another week or two. They go out every night, and I bet you we've called in over 50 to 60 lights that aren't working. Because we could charge for these whether they're working or not. There ain't no meter on them. They just estimate the cost. So they are out doing that, and they're checking reflectivity for signs. If you do see a stop sign that isn't very reflective, call my office. We like to know about it. I'll send them out at night. This is the time of the year that we do that stuff. Because right now the weather's being very nice to us, and I hope it stays this way for the rest of the March. That's it, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Paul, we talked at the department head meeting about having a drainage meeting. Could we get one before summer gets here, maybe in spring here sometime? I think everything's in order, but I think we should just get together sometime in a month or so.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually, we talked about that before, I'm thinking about it. I'm hoping like March or April, I'll have a little bit better idea on what I plan on doing for this year.
Okay.
Same thing with my 284 agreement, the list of roads that I wanna do. Well, the winter we had, it's a changing list. I'm trying to go out and survey my roads yet, see what it looks like after all the frost is out of the ground, but they took a beating this year.
Yeah, they did.
Anything
The
else?
other thing, Paulie, is that, Lou Anastasi, who is our stormwater person, is also looking to help out with, drainage if possible. So when you have that meeting, would you let him know also?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Paul, I noticed there was a few holes that I saw that you were out there and had already patched, so just wanted to say thanks. So
Yeah.
my car thanks you.
And we actually try to hold off patching a lot of the holes until we can get hot patch. The deep ones we put cold patch in, but cold patch really isn't the answer. Hot patch, we put that in there, that'll last for a while. So somebody will say, well, they missed half the holes, I seen them dry. No, they're getting the deep ones just so we don't have car damage. As soon as they start making blacktop out at the blacktop plant, then we'll be able to do a lot better fix for the roads that have bad spots in them.
Th-
We live on Graydon, and it was beautifully repaved a couple of years ago. The condition of the roads is what they're really suffered. Not only are we getting potholes that I know you're going to address, but does the town have a program of tarring the,
Crack sealing?
yeah,
Yes, we do. That actually was called a micropave that we put on your road. It's a 3 to 5 year fix. It's a Band-Aid fix, but it's a third of the cost of doing blacktop. Some of that will actually heal itself, believe it or not. When it gets warm, them roads do tend to heal themselves, and you'll see the cracks close up. But we do plan on doing a lot of crack sealing, because I got roads that I paved last year that are cracked. It was just that bad of a winter. When you went from 55 degrees one day to 3 below the next day, the ground's moving up and down. There's nothing you can do about it. Look at Niagara Falls Boulevard.
Terrible.
They spent 2 years redoing it,
Yeah,
and it's all busted up,
yeah.
humped up and cracked.
All right, Paulie, thank you. Richie Donner, water. How you doing, Rich?
Good evening, folks. I don't have a whole bunch, but my guys are out doing repairs on a daily basis from some of the winter damage that we had. A few manholes got knocked off by cars and snow plows and such, so we're out fixing those. But I do have a 2017 report on the electronics recycling that we do. We took in 74,177 pounds of electronics, or 37 tons, or if you want to average it out by every day that we work, when we took electronics in, it was on the average of 299 pounds of electronics a day. So, and that's besides all the work we do in the office, besides billing, permits, applications, answering the phone in between. So our office usually stays pretty busy. Just wanted to update you on the electronics report.
Thanks.
Anything else?
No, not for me. Fellas?
That's all I have tonight.
Gentlemen? Thank you. Mike Rinaldi. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening. I got just one quick thing. It's for our baseball, softball registrations. We are looking for coaches in a couple of different divisions. Our coach pitch division, which is like 5, 6U, and our boys minors, that is 8, 9, 10, and then at girls 18U. And we are taking registrations until March 23rd. Registrations are going pretty much on par with what they were the last 2 years. And we opened up our registrations for our men's league, Friday Night Softball League. Any questions?
Anything for Mike? Thank you, Mike. Bridget Growie. Oh, I'm sorry. You know I do that, don't I? Every time.
Hi.
You don't look like Bridget.
No, that was last week. That's
Go
another
ahead,
story.
Mike.
Second meeting of the month, so I don't usually have anything. Most of my stuff is the first part. So I have nothing today, but if you guys have any questions, I can.
The only thing, Mike, I have a note on my pad there. One of these days, you and I get together and go over the fees. I know I've been talking about it, but it's been busy, and you've been busy, and so have I. So maybe in the next couple of weeks, you and I get together?
In fact, that'd be a good idea. I know Larry's met with us too and talked about, he's looked at some of the other towns. We've compared some of the
Yeah.
prices. Got a couple of ideas to add a couple extra inspections when it comes to the fire inspection.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
when you have a chance, that'd be fine.
Okay, great, thank you. Anything else? Gents, anything for Mike? Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
I should skip you just for fun, Bridget, but Bridget, come on down. I know you hate this.
I do. But taxable status date is March 1st, which is Thursday. All exemptions are due by that date. So if you haven't done them, you're going to miss out. That's all I got.
That's all you have? I want you to know that Bridget personally came to me and said, you better get it in, and I did.
I sent out 200 reminders. I got quite a few of them in, but there's still stragglers out there.
Okay. Any questions for Bridget, gents?
What happens with the star? I know the answers to some of these questions, but what happens to this, like the senior star, if you don't apply to get that? Do you revert back to the
Basic?
basic star?
Yes. And then you
And
wait a year.
That's a pretty significant hit.
It's double. So yeah, you really shouldn't not do it.
Anything else, Mike?
No.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you.
Arlene Manty will not be here tonight. Also for the record, all board members are present. Tim Zuber. Wendell Engineers.
Thank you. We do not have any formal agenda items this evening. However, we do have a late motion that we got onto the board today. I don't know if you want to talk about that when you're doing motions, or if you'd like me to talk about it for now. I don't think I see it in the...
Just in brief, Tim, if you would.
Sure. So the planning board had Moog as one of their clients at their planning board meeting last week, and the planning board started a coordinated review under seeker. That application has actually 3 things going with it. It's got the site plan that's by the planning board. It's going to require a variance by the ZBA, and it's also going to require a special use permit by the town. They're storing a compound there that requires a special use permit for the town. So the planning board is doing the coordinated review under seeker so that all the town board doesn't have to do it themselves and the ZBA doesn't have to do it themselves. So we actually put a late motion in to allow that would be a motion to allow the planning board to be seeker lead agency for the site plan variance and town board special use permit for the Moog Inc. new construction and renovations, and also to schedule a public hearing for the special use permit. I believe the next meeting date being next week would be too soon to get the proper notifications out, so the earliest would be the following meeting, which is, I believe, the 19th.
Yeah.
But that would be the motion.
Okay, we can do the motion on seeker tonight, correct?
I'll make a motion for...
Well, yeah, the motion is to allow the planning board to be a seeker lead agent and also to schedule that public hearing.
I make a motion for the planning board to be lead agent for the seeker process.
Second.
So it's kind of a combined motion. Do you not want to schedule the public? We could...
Yeah, well, I think we can, let's do it in a separate motion then, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it in a separate motion, we'll take care of seeker. Okay, we have a second on that from you, Larry?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And while you're here, Tim, we might as well do the, set up the public hearing for the what do you see, we're looking at, March
19th, right?
19th. I'm just wondering, because of the nature of the special permit, if we should meet with them, at 6:30 at a work session?
I could sure ask them to come, sure.
Yeah, only because of the, if you want to explain in brief, it's a special permit because they're going to be expanding over at the Bell area, but some of the materials to be handling may be hazardous, and in order to do that, it requires a special permit, and I would say that before we, grant any approvals, I think we should know what we're talking about first, so, we can tentatively set the hearing for that night at 7 o'clock if you'd like. And maybe 6:30 with a work session with those folks so they can explain exactly what they're doing, and then we'll have the public hearing. Is that okay with you guys?
Yep. Okay. So March 19th, 7 p.m.,
That will be the, public hearing,
work session.
with a special permit, and at 6:30 if they could come in for a work session, so we know exactly what they're doing.
Okay, and the board will not need to take action, after that.
No, but just
Public
because of the
hearing.
nature of their special permit, I'd like to
Absolutely.
know what they're doing. So, I mean, I'd love to see growth in Wheatfield, but I still would like to know. So, if
Mhm.
you could contact those folks and see if they would come here at 6:30 for a work session, it'll also be
Will do.
open to the public. Okay,
Sure, were there,
can I have you want a motion to schedule a public hearing?
Okay, you wanna do it at 6:30, or 6:45 or 7?
I don't know, I think 15 minutes is gonna give us enough time for the work session?
you might wanna make sure you have some time to ask them.
Yeah, let's make it at 6:30 for the work session.
Okay, I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing for the special use permit for Moog at 7 PM on March 19th.
And a work session at 6:30.
Yeah.
So moved? Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all we have.
Okay, thanks, Tim, appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we have our attorney items.
The first motion this evening is seeking a resolution that the town adopt a Think Differently initiative, which is designed to promote awareness and acceptance of all people and advocate for the inclusion of all individuals living on the autism spectrum and with special needs. And this would seek to ensure that the town of Wheatfield residents and business owners would be better prepared to communicate with, provide for, and support those living on the autism spectrum and with special needs.
Any questions, gents?
Yeah, this is where I come on.
Yes.
So this is a movement, all across New York. It's definitely, a fantastic movement for a good cause, and I think it's, something that, Wheatfield, should support, and I think should be proud to support. So I will make the motion for this.
Second? We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The second motion is to authorize the town of Wheatfield Highway Department to purchase 2 Ford F-550 pickup trucks pursuant to Onondaga bid 7974-2018. And those purchases will be paid out of the Highway Department's 2018 equipment budget.
Motion? I'll make the motion. Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The third motion seeks a resolution amending the price of the town's open pickleball program for non-residents to $4 a day from the current set price of $6 per day.
Before I just put it to a motion, did a little research with Mike and some seniors that were concerned. We were a little bit higher than some of the neighboring communities, and we felt that bringing the fee down was appropriate. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The fourth motion seeks a resolution authorizing the town supervisor to enter into an agreement with National Grid or any other suitable provider to provide for a street light at the corner of lot number 32 at 3317 Colleen Terrace in Eagle Crest Subdivision Phase 2, and authorizing that said street light is to be of a high-pressure sodium LED light, and authorizing the town supervisor to enter into any agreements necessitating the said light and pole installation.
Can I have a motion, gents?
I'll make the motion, but we were supposed to choose one there, so I'll choose LED in my motion.
I'll second it.
Yes? Can we choose LED?
No.
I don't think they give you a choice of LED
Well, it told
or
us to
so-
choose one.
That might, is that that's the motion.
Oh, okay.
Again, from what I've been able to find out in my research, they do not offer an LED
They
choice
don't.
for the
Well,
subdivision
when we
lights.
put the light on Kruger Road and the Niagara Falls Boulevard, we had, that was our first LED in the town.
That is, and that's a roadway light, so it's only a roadway light. That's the ones that are on the big wooden poles, not the black poles that you see. So they don't give you a choice. So, just wanted to throw.
Want to do it again, Larry?
Well, how about our preference is LED?
Is this just a little decorative light? Is that what we're talking, just at that corner?
No. Standard light, yeah. Pretty much a standard light. Okay, do we have a motion on that?
I made the motion.
Okay.
I second it.
Got a motion and a second. Anything on the question? Well, we can ask, and if not, then we'll, to make Larry happy, we don't want to see him unhappy. If not, we'll go with a standard. But I think there's more to it, just that instead of just having an LED light. I think there's an issue. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
The fifth motion seeks a resolution that the town shall be a corporate sponsor in the 100 Lives in 100 Days free CPR and AED training program, and authorizing the town supervisor to enter into an application or agreement with Tri-Community Ambulance Service in order to effectuate the sponsorship, and also authorizing the town to expend $500 for the cost of the sponsorship to Tri-Community Ambulance Service, which is a 501c3 charitable organization.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a second. Anything on the question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Kurt, are you going to bring that up in your your discussion tonight? Of the tri-community? Are you going to bring it up in your discussion? What we're just talking about here. Are you bringing it up in your discussion?
Not that part.
Okay. Well, just in brief, Tri-Community Ambulance is setting up, I believe, 5 or 6 nights, and they're going to teach the I've lost my word again, but CPR. Thank you, to residents, and there is going to be some information available. We're town of Wheatfield residents. I think there's 5 or 6 different nights. I just got the information in. I'll make sure it's available at the town clerk's office. But to be training Wheatfield residents, and that's why we're sponsoring the training by Tri-Community Ambulance. So it's a great thing for the town of Wheatfield residents. Okay, board members, Larry Helwig.
A few things here. We're having a public hearing, or a public information open house on the River Road Trail on Wednesday night at 6 to 8 o'clock at the Town Community Center. Wendell will be there with lots of maps and displays to show, it's 5 alternatives, right? 5 different alternatives, and we're getting prepared to, this is one step closer to potentially turning this over to the DOT, but it's not officially turned over to them until we dot our I's and cross our T's. So it should be a good night to see all the alternatives and ask all the questions you want to find out about, which choice, we want to find out which choice people like the best. I see Joe Gargas in the audience. Joe was part of that River Road Committee that, helped, decide some of these choices. I know Joe walked the trails a lot. I know a couple people were wanting to know with the LaSalle right-of-way, the old abandoned right-of-way from the LaSalle Expressway. It's just a field with a bike path there now for dirt bikes, but we're going to try to use that or use the River Road shoulder if they can widen it enough to make it safe.
Okay. All set, Mike?
All set on that. The other thing is town justice interviews, the town board. I'm not going to list names of who we're interviewing, but just to let folks know that the town board is interviewing on March 1st for the vacant, position that, John Mateo left when he, passed away. So, and we have Kevin Mack from Town of Pendleton filling in that court right now, but, Town Board will be interviewing, and hopefully, not too much longer after that interview, we'll be making a choice if we come to one. But there, we've got several candidates. We had several board members, go to New York City for the Association of Towns, and, beating up on streetlights again, but, the New York State Power Authority, and, there's just a couple communities in New York State that have gone all LED, and, they're doing that because it saves money, like 80% of electricity, by going to LED. So there's some programs out there. I think the supervisor's office, I don't know, you've been contacted.
Yeah, thank you,
There's
Larry.
a lot of interest, and there was so much interest that they probably had over 150 people in this seminar in New York City this past week. And there's grants out there to convert over your regular street lights to LED. Is less money. It costs you a little bit to convert the fixture sets and everything over, but you know, and then they somehow give you grant money toward that conversion. But something we need to look into, and I think they're going to be knocking on the supervisor's door here.
They already have that.
They already have?
Thank you.
Good. I gave them your business card while I was there.
Thanks again.
Just kidding, I didn't really. Then, census, I gotta keep saying this probably at every meeting, but Census 2020 is coming up. And we have 120 days, every municipality and every township across the United States has 120 days to make sure that your house address inventory is accurate. And we've got through the clerk's office, we've petitioned the federal government to be part of that process. We're gonna be getting an electronic copy. Only 2 people at most, maybe 3 at the very most, are gonna have access to that. We have to do it on a individual special PC that cannot be connected to our network. It's very sensitive, very confidential, and when we're done with it, we have to turn it over. And then they'll review all the address change points that we make. And then census is actually in April 1st, 2020. Seems like a long ways away, but between now and then, they're updating all those address points. I sat in on a couple of sessions in New York City on the census, and it looks like there's going to be more electronic this year. So they're going to have people actually going on through the website. You know, usually they send you this big care package in the mail, and you get your census package delivered to your house, and you got to open it all up and, you know, fill everything out. I think a lot of it, I think they're going to try to do as much as they can online this year to eliminate some of the paper. So we'll see where that goes. But probably more to come. They're going to be doing a lot of advertising for the census as we get toward the end of 2019 and early 2020. So more to come on that. But the first part of it, the town, we're going to be using the water department for hopefully anybody that has a water meter and paying water bills has a house. We're going to be using the assessor's office to find out, you know, who's paying taxes and who has a dwelling on their house. You know, Mike Clark's not here, but every month Mike Clark and the building department has to turn inventory over to the federal government. There's a federal U.S. form that they fill out every month or quarterly. I don't know if it's monthly or quarterly, but every so often they fill it out with how many new houses. The only thing is they don't know the addresses yet. So that's something we've got to give them. But it's very important because we get our tax dollars from Niagara County, and our tax dollars from Niagara County is based on population. So if our population goes up, and some municipalities around here, some of the cities are going down, you know, that surplus of tax dollars coming in offsets. We don't have to, you know, have property taxes because of tax dollars. You know, 2010 when we got the census, our taxes went up. I don't remember the exact amount, but I'm going to say it was close to $1 million more went into our town coffers from sales tax. And you get that hit every 10 years. So we got to make sure that we get as many people counted. Some people are afraid to turn them in. Some of the seniors, I mean, I don't know what reasons, but they're going to be doing a lot of advertising and trying to get as much community involvement as they can, but, some folks just don't like filling out questionnaires. That's all I have.
Thank you, Larry. Gil.
I don't have anything.
And Kurt.
Yeah, I have some stuff tonight. First, for the Comprehensive Plan Task Force, which is our group of volunteers, we have 2 new members that I'd like to welcome. First is Michelle Horner. She joined the Community Development Task Force, which Rita and Tom are active on. What the Community Development Group does is they implement activities, social, recreational, cultural, and other special events for the residents of the town of Wheatfield. So welcome, Michelle. And also Zachary Carr has joined the Energy Application Focus Group. The Energy Application Group, what they do is they help us look at and make recommendations for things like solar panel installations, windmill construction, future cell towers. So welcome, Zach. Zach is sometimes in the audience, but I don't see him here today. And finally, if anybody else has any interest in getting involved with the volunteers, please do see me or see the website, the town website, for some more information. Next, I want to welcome a few new businesses to the town of Wheatfield. First is Empower for Empties. They are a nonprofit can redemption center, and they are actually located on Niagara Falls Boulevard in the Meadowbrook Square Plaza. What they do is they actually employ individuals with special needs and disabilities, and they help them achieve their full potential. So definitely a good cause there. They're going to be having a ribbon cutting event on Friday, March 23rd from 10 to 2. So we'd love to see some of you out there. So welcome, Empower for Empties. Another business that is new to Wheatfield is Sink or Swim Tattoo. Now, they actually had a business in NT and recently moved to Wheatfield. They're located on Niagara Falls Boulevard, and they're right across from Niagara Falls Boulevard Williams Road intersection, right near the airport there. I actually stopped in this weekend and met the owner, Keith Kazura. Really sharp guy, really nice business. They have apparel and all sorts of things in there. And the place, I'll tell you what, the place was jammed. So it was just nice to see a place with such a good client base there here in Wheatfield. Lastly, I have a short teaser for you. The town has been approached by a large bicycle racing organization, USA Cycling, and they're potentially interested in partnering with Wheatfield to bring a series of biking events, racing events here to the town. And I don't have too much in the way of specifics. We're in active conversations now, but I do think it could be a real benefit to the economy and also just a fun event for the community to go and be a spectator at. So we're excited to potentially partner with USA Cycling, and we'll provide some more information as it becomes available. And that's it.
Just while we're talking about the USA Cycling, if I could, gents, and I know, Randy, you're up next, but what I'd like to do is next week, our next town board meeting is the 5th, I believe. If we could, they would like to come out and give a presentation to us at 6:30 about the bicycle races. It's a national thing. They've raced all over the country. So if that's okay for everybody else, if we could set a 6:30 meeting so they can make a presentation. Of course, anybody here that would like to see what they're going to do, I think you'd enjoy it. The races are open to the public. They're even welcoming maybe the Lions Club to sell hot dogs, things like that, but they're looking at doing 7 to 8 races at Endicott Park. And they have all kinds of insurance. Kurt's been involved with this. He's going to take the lead on this. But I think it'd be great for the community. It'd be probably a fun thing to watch. So, Kurt, thank you. Yes, Will.
Don, I had one more thing. Don Wallace reminded me today that our phone, for our new phone system, there's a kickoff meeting tomorrow. I think Don Wallace and I will be attending that at 12 noon. But just put the departments on notice. I know they're not all here now, but we're probably getting some type of a schedule, I'm gonna guess in the next week or so. This isn't gonna be a one-day process. They're probably gonna take at least a day or so with each department just to see where your phones are and, you know, how we're gonna hook those up. But, the initial kickoff meeting is tomorrow, and there'll be more to come. No. I asked them if they needed anyone else more than just, but, you know, it's just an initial kickoff meeting. I guess we're gonna meet the project, leader, and, they're gonna tell us what resources they want and give us some potential dates after that.
Thank you, Larry. Is everybody here good for that 6:30 work session with the, John Rosen on the bicycle racing?
Did we have a date for that yet?
For their dates? For us?
Yeah.
Yeah, our next town board meeting will be
The next meeting.
that'll be at the next meeting, so.
I may have a conflict. It'll be on the 7th of March?
No,
I mean, no, but you're talking about the bicycle meeting? Is that gonna be on the 5th or the 7th?
it'll be on the 5th.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And I'd like them to have them come out. I talked with him, he was gonna come out in the morning, but rather than make a presentation just to me, he said, I'll be available, and, Kurt has the information on insurance and everything else that they've done. And, if everybody can make it, that'd be great. Great, thank you. Okay, I think, Randy, you're up.
Just the agricultural focus group meeting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the community center.
Okay.
Hope to see some people there, and that's all I have.
Okay. I guess that leads to me. I have a couple things. I've been speaking with the owner of the Shawnee Country Club, and he asked not to release the name yet of the restaurant or the people that are going to be running it. And maybe it was released. I know the contracts were signed in the last couple of days, but Shawnee Golf Course will be opening up again with a full-size restaurant. And I had a few calls that they're going to be townhouses, condominiums, not at all. It's going to be the restaurant. And I think Richie and I talked about sewer capacity up there. It wouldn't service it anyway. But the golf course is going to open back up, and the restaurant again too. And if anybody was there in the old days, they had a great fish fry, and it's nice to see them opening back up again. Also, I stopped at Niagara Gun Range, and I think maybe some of you folks know already, but Alessi Holster, who was up off of Dick Road, is now located at Niagara Gun Range. And they make quality holsters, and they'll custom make them for you, different colors. And in fact, I had one made. They do a really nice job. So that's Alessi Holster at Niagara Gun Range. I've talked to some of the department heads, and we're going to talk further at the next department head meeting, which would be the 5th also, about auctioning off some of the older equipment. I know Mike has talked about some of the old flail mowers and things that haven't been used in years. So we're looking at one time we used to auction them off right at the site if they were small pieces where they could come in. We'd have an auctioneer and auction off some of the old mowers. So we're going to go further with that, but I also talked to Paul Siegman about auctioning off the old grader, which is, and I was going to lead into a joke for Randy here and say how old it was. And go ahead, Randy.
How old is it, Don?
It's so old that I used to run it. So.
That's old.
But it's an old piece of equipment, but a lot of the towns in the southern tier still use the old graders to put roads in. You know, we have the developers put them in now, and it is used once in a very rare while to maybe back at the lake project, which we could do with a dozer. So we're looking at getting rid of some of the older, outdated equipment that's not used anymore and having a little extra money in the coffers. And that's all I have tonight. If anybody has anything that they would like to discuss that we have previously discussed tonight, now's the time.
Could I just even get the address?
Come on up to the microphone, please.
We're in Power. Is it in Power?
I'm sorry?
On the 23rd?
Yeah, I have the address. Stop and see me after.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
You need another street light? No.
Let me drive around and I'll come back with another location for you.
Bet you will.
So I would like to be at the meeting on the 28th, but I can't due to business travel. You said that the bike path, there's going to be 5 different designs, and then it'll be decided, and then that'll be turned over to the DOT for, I'm assuming you mean to be constructed. Does that mean they're taking over the financial cost? That's my first question. And my second question is, has there been any updates or decisions on the Agamarkets Wheatfield case?
Okay, well, as far as let's go with the bike path, or the path first. There's 5 different paths at different locations.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more of a public informational meeting. and DOT is looking to finalize it and absorb the cost from the North Tonawanda line to Niagara Falls.
Excellent.
So public hearing first and, or a public informational meeting first, and they will, I'm sure somebody will be here from DOT.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's more than anything, they'd like to get a final plan
Sure.
and get some feeling from the residents and then complete that section of the trail, which would take it right eventually to Lewiston, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the ag and markets, that's for Matt, and
He didn't advise me of any updates.
So nothing new? Okay. Okay, that's it. All right, thank you.
thank you. Anything else on anything we've discussed tonight, folks? I'd like to welcome the scouts here. I hope you guys had a good time. Okay, great. Thanks for coming, appreciate it. Motion to close the meeting, gents? Oh, I'm sorry. We have the February 28th meeting. I just want to bring that up again, which we discussed. The informational meeting on the Niagara River Trail project, and March 5th at, well, now it won't be 7:30. It will be at 6:30, and then 7 o'clock for our regular meeting. Motion to adjourn, gents?
I'll make that motion.
Got a second?